So this is why it's important to check first. Whether or not you can see it, I have drawn circles on the ceiling. The big dot in the middle is actually a hole that I used for a center. Just a little trick. Find center of your template. Sometimes it's marked out for you, sometimes it's not. A small screwdriver, a coat hanger, a nail, a screw, they all work pretty good for this trick. You take that tool that you've used and you poke a hole in the ceiling, and then you slide your template onto the device and press it into the ceiling. So then you've got a great lineup for exactly what you're trying to do. So then to draw 2 circles on the ceiling is not difficult, and they land exactly where you want. So the next step for me, I have to get out the vacuum, my drywall saw, some drop cloths. I got to cover up the living room before I go and cut, because why the heck would I not cover it up? Then it's just more work later. It's easier to cover it up now and shake the drop cloth into the middle of the floor when I'm finished, clean it all up and be done. So I'm going to start cutting some holes here, covering up some stuff, and we'll move forward from there. Yes, we're upside down. Time to get your drywall saw and get some work done. What I do first is I take a blade and I score along my line, basically to cut the paint, to cut the top layer of the material, because if it's going to crack and tear, I want it to crack and tear exactly on this line. So the extra time that it takes me to go around with my knife is well worth the end result once it's all set and finished. It just really makes for a better quality finished cut, even though nobody's going to see it, because if you use the template, right, it should fit properly. But did you check your device? Did you check whatever it is you're installing to make sure that the template you used was the accurate size? I did. Something to think about. Or if you make your own template, that's another thing. If something doesn't come with a template, there's no reason why you can't make one. Get a chunk of cardboard and a knife, or maybe a pair of scissors, and actually cut something out. Make sure that it's going to be the right size, and then you've only got to do it once. No guesswork. You want to try to make this process as easy for yourself as you possibly can. So there, I've cut all the way around the perimeter of this. That helps define the circle a little bit too. I've got a tarp down on the ground just to catch my debris. I guess a pot light isn't the best thing to stick the GoPro to. You'll get the idea. I'm going to cut the hole, and then I'm going to cut through the lath board with the saw. It's not that complicated. I'm through the layer of drywall. You can see that they shimmed this ceiling to make everything level. Regardless, I got to cut some of these slats out of my road, and if you check inside with the saw, I've got clearance all the way around. Floor joist is all the way there, so all is well. I'm going to cut out the lath that's in my way, make a nice clear hole, and then I'll replicate that on my other speaker hole. It's not going to run away. Just a quick little test fit. I'm not going to play with any of the anchors. I just want to see if this thing actually fits. And it fits just perfectly in the ceiling. So that means that I'm done this hole. Now I've got to go cut the second hole, and then we're going to worry about getting some wiring in here. So the second hole's been cut. Now what I did, there we go, second hole's cut. What I've done is in the hole upstairs in the floor, in that closet, I took 2 pieces of speaker wire and I jammed them into the hole. Now I know that that wall is right about here, and I'm going to assume that my speaker wire is just about here. I'm going to try to just reach up there first and grab it. A fish tape comes in handy to do this kind of project, or those fiberglass flexible fish rods. Those things are awesome. I use those things at work almost all the time. Now see, it worked out for me. If you're in a pinch, you can take a board, put a screw in the end, and as long as you can fit that into the cavity you're working, you can use that as a hook tool to try to grab something that's a little bit out of your reach. There's all kinds of tricks. I've even got one of those flexible cameras with the screen, and in some smaller holes I've used that to help me fish before. It really just depends on the scenario. So what I did, I just identified the lines so I know which one's running where. I put some colored tape on it. So I know that my colored tape line goes all the way to the far speaker. That should be enough slack to get me there. So I'm going to chuck this in the ceiling, and then I'll go on that hole and pull it through. Once you've got all your speaker wires in place, don't forget to use some soundproofing insulation. It makes a huge difference when installing the ceiling speakers. Without it, you're going to have a very hollow, echoey sound in the ceiling. So a big step is to make sure that you do put some kind of insulation in there. If you end up buying some pink fiberglass, that will definitely work. I've got some of that green rock salt insulation left over from my bathroom renovation not that long ago. So I'll probably use that. Doesn't make a difference what you use. It's all the same at the end of the day. Here, speaker wire. Now I just have to find it. Oh, how about that? It's almost like I've done this before. I do have to put some insulation up there, so I'm going to take care of that right now. And then I'm going to physically install the speaker.